Two.
Okay. All right, so we're on record. All right, so I got a lot of housekeeping things to do, and we'll get you up to speed here. Hopefully by in 45 minutes, you'll feel like you're up to speed and caught up, and know what which ends up. Okay.
Sure.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of give my announcements boards here. All right. So as some of us were discussing when I first got on, Blackbaud's had its trials and tribulations. I think just probably because it's being utilized more so than it ever has been in the past. With it being out for five days, I got a week behind. So I spent the weekend trying to get it all went behind me. I could inadvertently make an error. Maybe you sent something, I never got it. It got lost on your end, my end, or somewhere in between. No harm, no foul. Just resend it, okay? And do it. Don't put it in Dropbox because a lot of people are putting stuff. I sign up for a particular day. It's supposed to go in a particular Dropbox and another one, and it's like going on a scavenger hunt. So just email it to me for the time being.
Yeah.
But check behind me. I can make a mistake. It wasn't intentional, but it could happen. And I want to be fair and upfront and honest with everybody. Okay. I started rep grades last Friday. Let me just kind of, this is different from what the rep grade talks about in your syllabus from back in August. So let me tell you how we're doing it now. Come to class both days. At the beginning of the class, not 20 minutes into class. You get 45 points each. That's 90 points. And you check in once during office hours, you get another 10 points for a possible 100 points. Now, let's say you missed class because you had a conflict, your computer down or whatever, then just go to the YouTube site and go to, you missed today, go to Tuesday, April 7th, watch the class, write a summary or narrative or bullet points of what was covered in class, send it to me and I'll give you all or most of that 45 points back, okay? Any questions on that? So make sure you don't miss class, be in on time and don't be late. We're going to talk about some of the stuff in class. Well, actually, we're going to talk about it right now. As you may have seen in the news, there's been some kind of abuses of Zoom just because of its massive growth.
Yeah.
The last 3 weeks, there's Zoom pirates and Zoom traders.
So are they predators?
So Zoom predators, whatever you want to call
Ooh.
them. Zoom Tiger Kings, whatever. All right.
So I'll be your Tiger King.
Okay, so some things that have to happen, Mr. Woolfolk and Mr. Carpenter and some of the others. You got to have your video on. Otherwise, we're supposed to kick you out.
So get out, Jay.
There's a new capability to kick you out. All right. So then you have to go back and just watch the video online. Like in class, no food. Mr. Jackson, no food. Go hanging out in bed with your hoodie over your eyes.
Jay, your camera works now?
You have to use a username that I can recognize, not Michael Jack crib.
Portacac?
You got to use your name, a name that I can recognize.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Michael Jackson's the fag.
Be on time.
All right.
Okay. Everybody clear with the rules? All right. Eat lunch before or after class, right? All right, Eddie?
Sir, is Walter in this?
He's supposed to be.
You sent me a picture of a burrito earlier, and I was like, what?
Mr. Daniels, are you in this?
Okay.
Oh, no, God.
All right.
Who's your dad?
Couple things.
Such a joke.
There was a couple days where we did consecutive problem sets like 4-1A and problem set 1B. If you turned them both in, I gave you 110. If you only turned one in, I gave you 100. All right, so I did this in consolidation just for ease of bookkeeping and also not having to chase you down. But the 4-5 quiz, which actually happened first week that we were at school, and due to a lot of technical difficulties, I'm missing all or part of the quizzes. So let me just kind of quickly go through the names.
Oh my God.
Office hours at 2 o'clock today with me if you got more questions. Mr. Cruz, unless you've sent this in the last day or two, I got your quiz, but I think you just sent me the blank form. There's no work done on it. So if you put it in your notebook, resend it via email. Don't put it in Dropbox.
Mr. Gaffney.
Yes, sir.
I sent it over email. Like,
How long ago?
It was a good minute. It was last week. I know it was last week.
Can you, can you go into your send box and just resend it to me, just to make sure I haven't lost it in the system? I may have it, but as of over the weekend, I couldn't locate it. So just, if you've got it in there, just, not right now, but in the next day or so, resend it to me. Let's see, Mr. Griffin's not on, so I won't mention his name. Mr. Heifel, we talked about, I need page 1 from you. Mr. Johnson, Victor, I got the quiz, but kind of like Mr. Cruz, it was just the blank quiz. So you may have inadvertently sent me the wrong copy. So I need the one with the work. And Mr. Valise, I didn't get any quiz at all. So with that being said, let me keep going, all right? Then on 2 weeks ago, there was a 2-question assessment, right? Where you had to use the discriminant, and that was that negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac under the radical over 2a. It was 2 problems. I never got one from Carpin, at least I can find. You may have sent it, but I could have just resent it if you got it. It's these 2 problems. It's Carpin, Cruz, Griffin, Dwyer, Heifel, Jenkins, Aiden Johnson, Victor Johnson, Belize, and Wolfunk. So if you didn't do it, you may have it in your files, but just email me it. It's 2 problems. You have to do it using the discriminant. The discriminant is that negative b plus or minus under the radical b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Right? That was the 3rd way of solving quadratics to find what those roots, zeros, x-intercepts are. Here are the 2 problems, so resend that to me. Particularly you guys written right here. You may have done it, but it may have gotten lost somewhere in the system. Okay? Could have been on my end, could have been on your end, could have been in between somewhere. Any questions on that one? All right, I'm gonna come back up a little bit. So, that being said, and there's some various miscellaneous problem sets some of you guys never submitted. So, if you want to up your grade, check black by the next couple days. If you're some uncertainty, get on the office hours with me every day from 2 to 2:30, except Friday, we're not here at all. All right. Friday's the last day I'm taking any of this work before Easter break. All right. Once we come back from Easter break, I'm not taking any of this from before Easter break. So you got to get it in this week, because when we come back from Easter, it's kind of not a clean slate, but I'm not gonna backpedal to the first 4 or 5 weeks, first 4 weeks anyway, to find stuff. Any questions on that? Good? Everybody happy? All right. Hearing no questions. All right. Actually, it's 4-7 agenda. Okay. Let me tell you about what's going to happen the rest of the period today. Okay. Who is this? You know somebody that uses iPhone as their
Aiden probably. I think he had that last time.
Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. All right. I kind of backpedaled on what I talked to you about last Thursday, the 5-1 quiz on exponents and polynomials. I was going to try to do it flexi quiz and then try to do it online. I didn't do a good job with either of them, but it's now online, the 5-1 quiz. All right. So if you go to, maybe they put in yesterday's assignments or today's, but it's there now. It's, I think about 12 or 14 questions, all dealing with exponents, which is what we did last Tuesday and Thursday. You can take it now, has to be done by 3 o'clock tomorrow, and then I turn the switch off. So take it and put it in, now that, put it in Dropbox. Put that in Dropbox. There's a Dropbox there for it. Whatever the Dropbox was, I can't recall if I put it in for today or put it in yesterday. Everybody clear on that? Make sure you do your own work. I don't want to see identical quizzes like in the past with identical mistakes that are identically formatted. And you know who you are.
When is it due by?
3 p.m. tomorrow. So you got 24 hours to take a 20-minute quiz.
How do we know if we've taken it? I can't remember if that's like
If I get it and I can read it and I can grade it, usually I send you, say, got it or thanks. I'll send you a reply email. And then hopefully you'll see it in Blackbaud once I grade it, but it may be Friday before I grade it. Okay. You're shaking your head.
I don't remember if I did it or not.
I haven't done it. I just put it on.
It's a new one.
Just turn the switch on
All right.
for class.
I got you.
I haven't done it unless you're Speedy Gonzalez.
Got it.
All right. Here's a quick review for the quiz. All right. When you're multiplying like bases, like b times b, you add the exponents. When you're dividing like bases, like c to the fifth or c to the third, you subtract the exponents. If your exponents have exponents, you multiply them. All right. When you're adding and subtracting, sorry about that. When you're adding and subtracting polynomials, like terms have to have an identical base, such as x or z or y, in identical exponents. That's the only like terms when you're adding and subtracting only. Like terms, identical base, such as 4x cubed y squared can be added to 2x cubed y squared. Those are like terms because they got identical bases and identical exponents. When you're multiplying, anything goes, right? So that's the 5-1 quiz. Put it back in the Dropbox, due by 3 p.m. tomorrow. I think it's 12 or 14 problems. If it takes you more than 25 minutes, it's taken too long. Do your own work. Any questions on the quiz? Okay. All right. So for today, and I already loaded this, we're going to start 5-2, which is dividing polynomials. I put the problem set 1 on there, so if you've got it and capable of printing it, it's fine. Otherwise, just grab some loose leaf paper. Make sure you write the numbers to the problems. I think that problem set has 14 problems. Okay. We're going to work out 7 of them in class, so you'll have 7 for homework to do by tomorrow night. Any questions, anything before we get into dividing polynomials? Any questions on anything? All my classes the last 2 days are real quiet. How's everybody? Used to be tough crowd control. Now everybody's got.
So we're depressed.
And I know,
Suki, we want to see you.
We're very depressed.
We want to see you, Suk.
it's not a. Although the news was good last night, they say they think we're hitting the apex of that curve, and hopefully the thing will start coming down the other side, and we'll start being able to get back to a more normal, enjoyable way of life.
So we just end the school year early.
I'm sorry?
I think we should end the school year early, like St. Gertrude's doing.
What are they doing?
They're ending in like May, like 20th or something. Yeah.
I would be surprised if that happened, just knowing how other decisions have been made. But you never know. Okay. All right, everybody got a nice writing utensil and
Yeah.
loose leaf paper. The neighbors is ready to go.
Jay, you got
Ready to go. Mr. iPhone, if you can turn your video on. Henry, if you can turn your video on. Otherwise, I'm supposed to kick you out.
Mr. Daniel, turn your video.
You could be a Zoom pirate.
The Zoom sexual predator, sir.
Whoa, we need to relax.
There we go. There's Mr. iPhone.
What the, sir? Sir, what is that? Is that a pirate?
What?
Daniels? What the?
Sketch?
Eddie, are you using iPhone for your name?
Yeah.
Sir, what the Walter is wearing?
Yeah.
What is this fool? Walter.
Around his face?
If you can change your name to
Suki, I love
to
you.
something with your name in it, like E. Jackson or Eddie J. Period or something like that.
I don't know how to do all that right now, I'm be honest with you.
Just for Thursday.
It's a
All right,
burrito.
don't have to-
Suki, I want to see you,
All
brother.
right, all right.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We got, got plenty of time. All right. So we're dividing polynomials. All right. So we're going to actually put to use what we did in 5-1, because we're gonna have some variables, we're gonna have some exponents. All right, so here we go. First problem is, and I'm gonna walk you through a couple, and then I'm gonna let you work a couple, and then we're gonna talk about it. All right, make sure you write the numbers because I'm gonna skip around a little bit. So when you print this problem set out later today or tonight or tomorrow or whatever, you already know you got the 7 of the 14 done. All right, so we're dividing this polynomial 8a cubed plus 30a squared over 3a. All right, so technically what you're doing here breaks it up into chunks, which makes it easier to manage, kind of simplifies the process. This is really what you're doing, all right? You're doing this. You're doing 18a cubed over 3a plus 30a squared over 3a. Now this looks like what we did last week, right? So 3 goes into 18 6 times, right? We got a cubed over a. So we got a times a over a, which now simplifies to a squared. Likewise, 3 goes into 30 10 times, and we've got a squared over a. So that's like a times a over a, right? Leaving 1a. And there's our final answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Questions or confusion? Let me turn the lights off. I see some glare. Let me see if it makes it any better.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Better?
I love it, sir.
Mr. Carpin, hello.
Mr. Daughtry, just remember the class begins at noon,
Neighbors, how we doing?
1:30.
Jaden, yes.
People, yes.
Mr. Jenkins. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's
Mr.
go down.
Dodge, love the hat.
Jaden, yes.
Jaden, nice hat.
Love the do-rag, yes.
Sir,
Right.
we don't wear hats or do-rags. Which one?
Neither.
Neither, sir.
Both.
Jada,
Sir, both.
Jada,
You'll be kicked out also, all right?
Sir, I'm wearing
Oh.
do-rags.
Mr. Daughtry, just stay after class so I can get you up to speed a little bit. All right, go down to number 7. You got 10c plus 6. 10c plus 6, we'll come back to number 2. Go down to number 7. I want you to solve 10c plus 6 divided by 2. All right, jot it down. Don't holler out the answer.
Wait, it's 10C plus 6.
Sir, that's easy money.
Everybody say it. 10c plus 6 divided by 2. Just roll the camera in just a little bit. Okay, Mr. Neighbor,
No.
easy money. What did you come up with for the answer?
So I got 5C plus 3.
Yeah, neighbors.
Yeah, the burrito's right back, baby.
Anybody-
Brother.
Listen up. All right, anybody get anything different than that or disagree with that? Okay, we're gonna clear a little space out. We're gonna go back to number 7. I want to give you somewhat of a easy one to get you warmed up. Our next problem, if you want to just copy it down without looking up, it's 24 m into the 6th minus 40 m squared n cubed. Right? Mr.
Sir, what is that
Daughtry,
noise?
Mr. Daughtry, if you would, mute your iPhone so I can, for me, or I'll have to mute you or take you out, all right? All right, divided by squared over n cubed. 4m squared over n cubed, all right? So what you may want to do, I'll set it up and I'm gonna let you do the calculation. What you are actually doing is 24m into the 6th over 4m squared n cubed minus 40m squared n cubed, again over the same denominator,
Sir, can I join from my computer?
m squared n
I'm
cubed. Okay?
Nick, how you doing? Okay.
All right, so I set it up for you. These are equivalent, right? So solve that, and then we'll talk about the answer here in just a second. I'm going to erase this just to make room.
Wait, sir, when you divide, do you subtract?
Carpet, say it one more time a little louder.
When you divide, do you subtract?
Yeah, you're gonna almost treat this as kind of two mini problems within one larger problem, right?
One would like the exponents.
Exponents, okay, so we're dividing, right? So you're gonna actually subtract the exponents, just like we did last week in that exercise. 'Cause that section 5.1 was to prep you to start doing these more complex problems. All right, Mr. Cohn, have you simplified this?
Okay. So, yeah, do you subtract?
Let's do it here. We'll do it collectively, all right? Since there's some questions.
What's,
So
yeah,
24 divided by 4 equals what? 6, right?
6.
All right. And you almost have problems within the problems, all right? So if we kind of go vertical on this, you've kind of got like three compartments in here. So 24 divided by 4 is 6, right? All right, so now we got m over m squared. So we got, that's like having m over m times m, right? So that simplifies to 1. So that leaves a m to the first power, or just m on the, as part of the bottom or the denominator, right? Now we have n to the 6th times n to the third power. So it's 6 minus 3 is 3. So it's 6n cubed over m, right? Let me just check, make sure my math is good. Let's see. Yeah. Now, here we got 4, the second half, 4 into 40 goes 10 times, so it's minus 10. I got m squared over m squared, which equals 1, right? Come over here, Mr. McCarthy. And I got n cubed over n cubed, which equals 1. So my final answer is 6n cubed over m minus 10. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Good job, Suk.
So, last week we were just doing like little pieces of this. Now we've got a whole entire problem where you got multiple calculations, simplifications, in one problem. That's why they're called polynomials. Poly or many, right? All right.
Why did M go on the bottom?
Why did M go on the bottom? Let's see. Because you had, I'm just looking at this middle column here, you had m over m squared, right? Which is the same, let's see, can you see that? Which is the same as m over m times m, right? So that cancels out, and I've got 1m left on the bottom.
Why?
Okay. This is just like we were doing last week, but like I said, you've got many of these built within one single problem. All right, so let's look at, let me get Mr. McCarthy and tilt that back up a little bit for you. All right, let's look at number 9. We got 15y cubed. Make sure you write the problem number down, because when you print out the problem set off a blackboard, you'll know which problem goes with which.
Sure.
15y cubed plus 6y squared plus 3y, all divided by 3y.
Sir, have you already put the problem set on Blackboard?
I believe I did earlier today.
What problem set is it again?
It's 5-2 problem set 1 or number 1. 5-2 problem set 1 or number 1.
Sir, I'll check real quick.
You might want to write that on your sheet.
The questions are different.
On 5-2, number 1?
Yeah.
Now I am skipping around.
I know. I'm on 9. Like I'm looking at 9, and it's g over 5 is greater than or equal to -2.
G over 5.
Ooh.
Like on the one online.
Okay. Then don't use that. That sounds like my Algebra 1 class.
Yeah, it says
Whoa.
Okay, so give me,
Whoa, sir.
I can't do it during class.
No, I just want to tell you.
Okay, thanks. After class, I'll swap them out.
All right.
I'll swap them out. Sorry about that. I'm not sure. Probably user error with me being a user. Okay, so number 9 is 15y cubed plus 6y squared plus 3y divided by 3y. So technically what you're doing is this, right? I'll let you do it and we'll talk about the answer. You're dividing each one of those components on the numerator by that denominator. That's really what you're doing, correct?
Yeah.
Take 90 seconds and do that, and then we'll talk about it. Mr. Neighbors, I know you looked at it too. Is that the same deal where there was inequality there for number 9? Unmute over the button.
I can check real quick, but I mean I was logging into Benedictine and
Okay.
Highfield said, and you like backed up, so I guess
Yeah,
I'll just,
I assume if it was true for him, it's true for everybody. All right.
yes, sir.
Give me about 15 minutes after class ends, and I'll try to swap them out. Sorry about that. Okay. Since I'm talking to Mr. Neighbors, did you already do this one, number 9?
What's
Did you already solve number 9?
no, not yet, but I can do it real quick. So that would be 5y over 2 plus 2y plus 1.
Excellent. 5y squared plus 2y plus 1. Anybody disagree with that, or like, I don't know where that came from? Makes sense? Yes? All right. Now let's talk about this one. It's 4a cubed minus 8a squared plus a in parentheses, and then it's 4a to the negative 1 power. What is this problem actually asking you to do?
Distribute.
Are we sure?
Oh, foil.
Are we sure?
Change the positive negative stuff.
Negative.
Okay, and if I change that to
Go to
a
the
positive,
opposite of the sign.
if I change that to a positive, this is
Make it to a fraction.
right. 4a to the negative 1 power means I got to take, to address that negative reciprocal or negative exponent, I take the reciprocal of 4a. So it really, this is telling you to divide this first parentheses by 4a. Be careful of that because SATs like that problem. 4a to the negative 1, if you take the reciprocal, it's asking you to divide by 4a. Don't fall in the trap of distributing 4a. Questions or concerns on that one? So go ahead and solve that. I'll give you 90 seconds or so, and then we'll talk about it. This is number 11 off the problem sheet. Can't believe I put the wrong one in there. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to break it down into chunks just so that it rings true for you. So we got 4a cubed over 4a, right? For the first part. So 4 over 4 equates, anything over itself always equates to 1, right? So then so that's 1. And I've got a cubed over a. So that 3 minus 1 is a. So this now becomes a squared. Shows that, okay? And then I've got 8a, negative 8a squared over 4a, right? So 4 into negative 8 becomes negative 2, right? I got a squared over a, so 2 minus 1 is 1. So now I got negative 2a. Good so far? And then the last thing is plus a over 4a, right? So a over a, anything over itself always becomes 1. So it's plus 1/4. Does that make sense? And did you come up with that?
So is that plus 1/4?
Plus 1/4, yes.
So you kind of got me on that one.
But any particular part?
It was just that I didn't put the 4a under all of that. I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah. I was
You may have missed the explanation earlier. Anything to the negative power, you take the reciprocal, and that makes that exponent a positive exponent as opposed to negative. Anytime, whether in my quizzes or tests or standardized quizzes, tests, SATs, ACTs, don't ever give an answer in a negative exponent. All right, they always want it in a positive, even though they may give that to you as a possible answer in a multiple choice scenario. Okay. All right. So let me down just a little bit. All right. All right. Number 12, you got 15q to the 6th plus 5q squared. And it looks like a multiplication of 5q to the 4th minus 1. So treat it just like we did number 11. I'm going to let you solve that. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes and then we'll talk about it. Okay? Everybody see it?
Sure. Are we gonna have to Dropbox this to you?
Yeah, the problems we don't do. We should, I think there's 14 problems on the set. Again, give me time after class and I'll check that out. And then 7 problems that we don't here.
All right, Suki.
Okay. Okay, how'd we do? Joyful, you want to give me this one?
Don't you just divide it by 5q?
5q to the 4th.
Yeah, to the 4th. So would it be 5q to the or 5q squared? Or, I mean 3q squared. I didn't mean.
Okay.
3q squared. And then what do you do with the exponents with the second?
All right, well, let's just look at that second part independent of the whole problem. So we got 5q squared over 5.
Move the camera down a little.
Shoot. 5q to the 4th, right? Can't write and look at that. All right. So 5 over 5 equates to 1, right? So we got on the numerator we got q times q, and then on the denominator we got q times q times q times q, right? So that's 1, leaving q times q or q squared. So it's similar to that number 11 above it. So it's 1 over q squared.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
You good?
Yeah.
Questions before we move on? All right. Okay, let's see here. Let me make sure I can get this thing in there. All right. If you can do this one, you've got this mastered, all right? I can read it to you, so don't have to look up if you want. It's 4f to the 5th power minus 6f to the 4th power plus 12f cubed minus 8f squared. And it looks like a multiplication, but think about it. It's 4f squared, close parentheses, to the -1 power. So what you are actually doing is you're dividing everything by 4f squared. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You got really kind of four mini problems inside this one big one. I'll give you 2 minutes to walk your way through that. Putting the road and the parking lots in for the new gym.
Oh, they are?
They put the gravel in, the curbing in, and looks like they're getting getting it ready to asphalt. I'm not sure when.
Where are they putting it? Like where the old like little loop was?
Yeah, well, the road comes in, of course, between the courtyard, back courtyard and the thing, and then it wraps around the side here. And there's a lot of parking kind of behind on the opposite side of the bell tower. There's some new parking.
Okay.
Weird. What are you doing?
Okay, are we ready? Anybody want to take a stab at it? All right, I'll tell you what I got. All right, so you got 4f to the 5th over 4f squared, right? So that becomes f to the 3rd power. And then I got minus 6f to the 4th over 4f squared, right? So that's minus 3 halves f squared.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then we got 12f cubed over 4f squared. 4 goes into 12 3 times, so it's a plus 3f, right? Because we got f cubed in the top, f squared on the bottom. All right, and then we got negative 8f squared over 4f squared. So negative 8 divided by 4 is a negative 2. The f's cancel out. So the final answer is f cubed minus 3 halves f squared plus 3f minus 2. You can do that one. You've got a good handle on this.
That's easy, sir.
Yeah, I mean, careless errors is about the only thing that could grab you.
Yeah. It's not like super hard though.
Okay. So give me 15 minutes or so, and I'll swap out. It sounds like I put the problem set from Algebra 1 in the Algebra 2 class, so I will swap it out. So there's a total of 14 problems. We've actually done 7, so you got 7 left. So between now and tomorrow night, if you could finish those and put them in the Dropbox, okay? And then, as a reminder, you've got the 5-1 quiz. That quiz should only take you like 15 minutes, because if you can do what we just did, the quiz would be like going like a hot knife through butter. So that's on there now. Hopefully it's the right quiz, and just put that back in Dropbox between now and tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You'll lose points if it's not in there by 3.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So since we've already done 7, can we just only fill out the ones we haven't done, or do we have to fill out the whole page?
Yeah, if you just do you can do them all if you want the additional practice, or you can just fill in the 7 that we didn't accomplish in class. That's why I wanted you to write down the numbers. Since we didn't do like first 7, I skipped around, so I try to give you a couple of examples of different types so that you've got that experience before you go out on your own.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
All right, what other questions can I answer? Look at how we're doing on time. We're actually 5 or 6 minutes ahead of schedule. I can throw a couple more problems up there if you want to knock them out now.
No, I'll see you later.
Who's that?
It was
Jackson.
Michael Jackson? Okay. So that's all I've got. Don't forget to do the other 7 problems on this, but give me 15 or 20 minutes to put the right problem set on there. If it's inequalities, that's not you guys, okay? Give me 15 minutes to swap that out. Don't forget to take the quiz. It's up there. It should be up there now. I'm going to double check to make sure that didn't get boogered up between now and 3 o'clock tomorrow. This problem set we just did due by 9 o'clock tomorrow night. All right. Any other questions or concerns I can address now? If you got any questions, I'm still doing office hours 2 to 2:30 Monday through Thursday this week. Friday starts our spring break, so we're not doing office hours or anything on Friday. Anything else?
Can I just stick around after this?
Yeah, you can.
For office hours,
Yeah.
I want to jump off so that I can
Okay.
have problem set issues. So anybody wants to do that right now. So, and just
Got any questions, Jay?
It's nice to see Mr. Jackson watching out for Mr. Daughtry.
Nick, what are you doing? You've been frozen for a while.
I feel the love. Feel the love.
So when can we leave?
Eddie.
What's up, brother
Yeah.
Hank?
Eddie, get
Okay.
on at it. Play me
Anything else I
Madden.
need to- Mr.
All right.
Okay, have your own Zoom account. Okay, anything else I need to address before we wrap it up for the day?
No,
Love you, Hank.
okay. Love you too, Nikki.
Last call.
We're all good, Sirky.
I think we're good.
All right, we'll see you on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Don't forget the quiz. Don't forget the 7 problems from problem set, this problem set. All right?
Love-
Have a good day, and we'll see you on Thursday or see you on.
Have a great day, sir.
All right, you too, Mr. Daughtry. Make sure you get to class on time for a change. All right?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about. All right. See you guys. Stay safe.